Hello, everyone. Today is Thursday, April 30th, the last day of April. The cartoon for today is how birds see the world. So the top of every single one of our heads is just a target or a bullseye for the birds. I thought that was cute. Okay, before we go or start on page 52, I had a student who asked me a good question, and so we're going to backtrack to page 23. And it was on the grammar, and it was Saba asking, would she like some flowers? And your choices were either like or likes. And they were wondering why it wasn't likes instead of like. Because part of it was, the understanding was correct. When you have he, she, or it, you do have to add the S, right? She likes flowers. But would is a helping verb. And when you have a helping verb, your second verb does not change. Your second verb does not change when you have a helping verb like can, could, would, do, does. Your second verb doesn't change when you have a helping verb. So she would like some flowers. The like, no S. So, and then this one on page 23 was actually a question. Would she like some flowers? So your verb is not together because you start with would, but it is still a helping verb. So would she like, not would she likes. Okay, so be sure and look for the helping verbs when you've got that he, she, or it with it. Okay, so today we played a bingo game in our Zoom conferences. I loved it. I don't know if you guys felt a lot of pressure to memorize all of those irregular verbs, plus to review your vocabulary words, but I thought it was fun. Here are my gold stars for the week. From each of the classes, I just put them all together. And that is a huge gold star. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Let me share that again. Okay, I just want to hide. Do I want to, or yes, I do. Okay, just to make it a little bit easier to see. So the gold stars that get, the people that get the gold stars for this week are EDL from the 9 o'clock class, MR, MC, and OG from the 11:30 class, and ML and JR from the 5:45 class. So good job, you guys. I am very proud of you for being brave and taking care of those irregular verbs. Okay, so now we're going to go on to April 30th. Get there now. Now, what we're working on today is the word order. And remember that we worked on it a little bit earlier in the week when we were looking at adverbs of place and adverbs of time. And remember the rule, or it's not a exact definite 100%. It's going to be this way always, but most of the time it will be. You put the adverbs of place before time, adverbs of place go before adverbs of time. And the reason is because P comes before T in the alphabet. So L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. That's just an easy way to help you remember. P before T, place before time. So on page 52, we are going to do number 1, 2, and 14 together so you kind of get a feel for it. These sentences are all jumbled up and you have to put them in the correct order. Obviously, the first thing that you need to look for are the capitalized letters because those will be usually the beginning of your sentence, right? Okay, so let's do questions 1, 2, and 4 together. Number 1, it says lunch we eat at noon in a restaurant. So how would we put this in the correct order? Where is the capital letter? It's at the we. So you know it starts we eat, and that's your subject and verb. And then we eat what? We eat lunch. So that is your direct object. And so now you've got 2 adverbs. One is place and one is a time. So we put place before time. So it's we eat lunch in a restaurant at noon, period. Okay, the next one, question number 2. Where is the capital letter? It's they. So you know you have to start with they have, and there is your subject and your verb. They have what? They have class. And then you've got an adverb of place and an adverb of time. So the place is the university. At the university at 10 a.m. Okay, and now you guys can do 3 through 13. And I just thought I would skip over and do 14 with you also. Scroll down a little bit. Okay, so you have 2 capital letters this time, but the Canadians is following a string of words, right? Of for Canadians. So you know that that of cannot start your sentence. So your 3 is your other capital letter, so that will start your sentence. So 3. Now we're looking for something that would connect with 3, and the 3 of 4, right? It's comparing 3 of 4 Canadians. Now we need your verb. You've got your subject, and now we need to find the verb. Where is the verb in that? Live. 3 of 4 Canadians live. And now we have 2 adverbs of place. So do you remember what we talked about with when you have 2 adverbs of place or 2 adverbs of time, you go from smaller to bigger. So which is bigger, the 100 miles or the US border? It would be the US border is bigger than the 100 miles. So you would go within 100 miles of the US border, period. Okay, so that will get you to the graph down on page 53. And we are just going to do that together also, some of it. Now don't be worried about all of these. I need to adjust this. About all of these words up here. We're going to do, those are two sentences that I'm supplying for you. So they gave you two examples. Joe eats lunch at noon every day. So there were no adverbs of place in the first sentence, but there were two adverbs of time, and noon is a smaller amount of time than every day. And then sentence number 2, she works at the bank on Gray Road. So you have two adverbs of place, and at the bank is smaller than Gray Road, so you go from smaller to bigger. Okay, so now we're going to go up here to this first line of words. Arranged on the table in the living room, flowers, Kate. So what is going to start your sentence? The only thing that's capitalized, right? So we're going to put Kate here. So Kate is a subject, and now we need a verb. What is the verb in that sentence? Where is the action at? It would be the arranged, right? Kate arranged. And now you have to ask yourself that question of what? Kate arranged what? Did she arranged on the table? No. Did she arranged in the living room? No, it doesn't make sense. The only other, the object in here would be flowers. Kate arranged flowers. So that's your object. So we can cross out Kate and arranged and flowers. And now you have two adverbs of place. We've got on the table and in the living room. Which is smaller, on the table or in the living room? On the table is smaller, so it's your place 1. Oops, I don't know why that does that. And then your place 2 is in the living room. And be sure and put a period at the end of your sentence, please. Okay, so now we are going to do the next sentence. On 11th Street at the postal carrier, Bart the dog in front of the house. So where's the capital letter? It's on the. So your subject is the dog. And where is the action at in this sentence? Where's your verb? It would be Bart, the dog, Bart. Okay? And what did the dog bark at? At the postal carrier. So we will put that here. Get rid of that capital A. Okay, and now we have two adverbs of place again. In front of the house on 11th Street, which is smaller, a house or 11th Street. So we will put in front of the house on 11th Street. Okay, so I did two sentences. Let me stop that now. So I did two sentences for you on your grid right here. And so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences that you can work out for yourself. Just be sure and find a subject, a verb, an object, and then you can decide if you want two places of time and two places, and I mean two adverbs of time and two adverbs of place, or one of each. You get to decide, and you can play that scramble sentence with a family member if you want to, like, scramble your sentences like I did and then put them in the correct grid down there. That might be kind of fun. Okay, on the next page, on page 54, we are working on adjectives. And adjectives are descriptors. They describe something else. And the examples that they gave you on the top of page 54, move up a little bit closer. Examples are hungry, cheap, green, tired, expensive, red, tall, smart. So adjectives kind of like give color to your sentence. They make it more interesting. You know, a complete sentence is the dog barked, right? That makes a complete sentence, but it makes English more interesting if you add adjectives. The angry, ferocious, big, furry dog barked at the scared postal carrier. It just makes it more interesting. So they are giving you two lines of examples, and it's sort of like another little rule that you can use to try to remember that. One of them is that you use adjectives after be verbs. Like, it is windy outside. It is the be verb, and then windy would be an adjective. Or I am excited, or I am happy, or I am sad, or I am cheerful. Those are all adjectives. So you use it after be verbs. So we would go, I am happy, you are happy, he is happy, she is happy. We're not going to do it because it can't have feelings. We are happy, you are happy, they are happy. So we use adjectives after be verbs, and then we also use them before nouns. So it's kind of cute. After be verbs and before nouns. After be verbs and before nouns. It's kind of a cute, catchy way to remember the way that we use adjectives. So before nouns. Like right now, I am wearing a blue shirt. Blue is the adjective, shirt is the noun. Okay, so we're going to do some different examples of the be verbs, using adjectives with be verbs, and using adjectives before nouns. So this is using adjectives with a be verb. I am excited for our bingo game. So excited is the adjective because it's right after am. I am excited. And now to use it before the noun, the excited students played bingo. Oops, I forgot my period at the end of that. The excited students played bingo. Okay. Another one used after the be verb, my shirt is blue. And then using the adjective before the noun, he bought a blue shirt. So blue is the adjective. The next one is this marker is green. So here's your be verb, there's your adjective, green. And then using the adjective before the noun, she used a green marker on the board. We can actually get fancy. And we could say she used a green marker on the white board. So it's the white is also the adjective describing board. Okay, so those are basically two ways to remember adjectives. We use them after the verb be and before nouns. Oh, I forgot one. The last one. It is sunny today. So there's your be verb, sunny. And then the sunny weather helped the flowers grow. So there's your adjective sunny before weather. Okay, so what they want you to do on page 54 is to put the adjectives in the correct placement after the be verb or before the noun. And then that carries on to page 55. And I was going to do number 5 with you. It says, let me erase that. So on number 5 on page 55, what is your present for Christina for her birthday? And then you have to supply the answer. A is small gold earrings. B is earrings, small gold. C is gold earrings, smalls. And D is smalls, earrings, gold. Okay, the answer is A, small gold earrings. Sorry, I just had to. Okay, the answer is A on number 5, small gold earrings. So one rule that you need to know about adjectives is that even if your noun is plural, like earrings, your adjective does not become plural. It stays single. You would not put smalls, golds, earrings. Your adjective stays single, no matter what your noun is doing. Small, gold earrings. So be sure and look for that. Make sure that you're not adding S's to your adjectives. Okay, and then another, so on this one, another example, the oranges, butterflies. Butterflies is plural, but we would not put an S on orange, the orange butterflies. Okay, and then the last rule is you do not put adjectives behind the noun. And I know, especially in Spanish, usually the adjectives follow the noun, right? Because if you said white house, Casa Blanca, right, you would put the white after the house. It's exactly opposite. You would not say he drove a car red. You would put that red in front of car. He drove a red car. Okay? You would not say she lived in a house yellow. You would say she lived in a yellow house. Okay, so those are pretty much the rules for adjectives. You do not make them plural, and they do not follow their noun, they go before the noun. So on page 56, there is a review of everything that we covered in this word order process. We covered adverbs of place and time, and then we covered adjectives. And so on page 56, exercise 6, there is a review test. And on this text that they have, there are 5 phrases where the word order is a little strange. It's not right. Okay, so you have to underline the 5 sentences that do not have the proper word order. So I'm going to read it to you. This is Carla Rice. She is working in her garden. On Pine Street she lives. She has a small house, white. Wrong. The house is very old. Carla was in 1959 born in this house. Both her parents died several years ago and Carla is divorced. Now she lives alone. Carla keeps busy by doing many things different. She likes to work behind her house every morning in the small garden. The adjectives are all correct in that, but the order of it is not. She is very good at gardening. The flowers in her garden are very beautiful. Carla's neighbors tell her this all the time. Carla only smiles and says, I didn't do anything. The flowers do all the work. So basically you could kind of tell the 5 sentences just by my facial expressions on which ones were incorrect. Okay, and then on the bottom of page 56, you're going to, these are some more scrambled sentences, and you're going to put them in the correct order. And then on the last page, on page 57, you're going to put the adverbs of place and adverbs of time in the correct order. Okay, so basically, if you can follow these rules on how to construct a sentence, it'll be easier. You don't have to feel intimidated or feel stressed out by, oh my goodness, there are so many words here. I don't know the proper order. If you just remember your subject and your verb, your direct object, your indirect object, your adverbs of place and time, and then where adjectives fall. So I thought we could practice some more difficult sentences, not more difficult, just longer, has more bits and parts to it, that also include the direct object and indirect object. So let me get onto that. Okay, so this last one that we did, I can't find my cursor. There it is. We only did object and places and time, right? So I thought we would try some more sentences. That included direct object and indirect object. Do you remember the difference between a direct object and an indirect object? The direct object answers the question, what? So, the direct, well, you can't see that very well. The direct object answers what? She did what? She cleaned the dishes. She is the subject, clean is the verb, dishes is the direct object. Okay. Remember when we did the Joe gives gifts? If we said Joe bought flowers, that would be Joe subject, verb, and then flowers is the direct object. But what if we said Joe bought Natalie flowers? Natalie is the receiver of that. So Natalie would be the indirect object. Okay, so we can do this. So I have two sentences for you. And remember, what do we look for just right off the bat? We look for capital letters because that has to start your sentence. And you have three this time. One is May Day, but it's connected to on, and on is not capitalized. So you know that the children will have to be your subject because it's capitalized. The children. Okay. Now we're looking for a verb. On her doorstep, early in the morning, on May Day, neighbor left. Okay, so what is the verb? That happens to be an irregular verb, and that's left. Okay, now the indirect object, sometimes it's hard to see what the receiver is until you figure out what the direct object is. So the children left what? Okay, do you think they left their neighbor, or do you think they left a basket of flowers? Okay, probably a basket of flowers. You can't really, well, I guess you can leave your neighbor, but it doesn't make sense in this sentence. So we're going to put the direct object is they left what? They left a basket of flowers. So we can get rid of this one. So who is the receiver of this basket of flowers? The only person left in this story is their neighbor, right? So their neighbor is the indirect object. I wish that wouldn't capitalize every single. Okay, so we can get rid of their neighbor. Okay, so now you have three adverbs of place and time. Okay, on May Day is time, early in the morning is time, and on her doorstep is place. And what's the rule? We put adverbs of place before adverbs of time, P before T. So on her doorstep goes next. So we can get rid of this. And then remember, when you have two adverbs of time, you go from smaller to bigger. So which is smaller, early in the morning or on May Day? Well, early in the morning is just part of a day, and May Day is the whole day. So morning is smaller. So we put early in the morning. On May Day. Okay? So just as long as you remember, just think of it as little compartments. There's your subject, there's your verb, there's your direct object, there's your indirect object, there's your adverbs of place and time. Okay, so let's do the next one, number 2. So we're looking for capital letters. Now this could be 2 different ones because we have she, and we also have Joe. So you're going to have to do some more exploring in the sentence to figure out the context, to figure out if she is a subject or if Joe is a subject. What would be a way to tell who's going to be the subject? What about this word right here? Her. If Joe was the subject, it would say his house, but it says her house. So we know she is the subject. Let's get rid of that. Now we're looking for a verb, the thing that does the action. And look, there's another irregular verb, sent. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Okay, what did she send? Well, you can't send Joe. So the only thing that can be sent in this is a party invitation, right? She sent an invitation. So let's come over here and do our direct objects. We can get rid of this. So who received this party invitation? Who is the indirect object? It would be Joe, right? He's the only other person in here. So we can get rid of Joe. So now we've got 8 p.m. and May Day for your time, and house and Kansas Avenue for place. So place before time. And which is bigger, at her house or Kansas Avenue? At her house. So that goes next. And then the bigger place on Kansas Avenue. And now, get rid of those. Now we have for 8 p.m. on May Day. So which is smaller? The 8 p.m. is just 1 hour. So and then on May Day, period. Wait. Okay. Now we're going to really, really, really expand the possibilities. And we're going to add adjectives to our subject, verb, indirect object, direct object, place, time, and time. You can do this just as long as you follow the little compartments and figure out subject and verb first. What is the subject and verb talking about? Who receives the action? You can do this. Okay, so let's first look for our capital letters. And the only one that starts the beginning of a phrase is the. So the loving is the adjective, right? It describes someone. So the loving, we've got to find the subject. The loving their family? No. The loving picnic? No. A picnic can't have emotions. It can't be loving. It's just an object. So the only thing that could be loving would be the parents, right? So the loving parents. Oh yeah, I do want to do that. Okay, so there's only one verb in here. Oh look, it's another irregular verb. Gave. What did they give? Did they give Light Park? Did they give Delicious? Did they give their family? We're not going to give away our family, right? So what they gave was a picnic, right? So your direct object is picnic. Who received the picnic? Who was the receiver of the picnic? It would be their family, right? So the loving parents gave their family but I put an adjective in front of that direct object. So where is the detail that gives color or light or makes your sentence more interesting is the adjective. It would be delicious, right? It was a delicious picnic. So delicious is your adjective. So we can get rid of this. Now, you're just left with your adverbs of places and your adverbs of time. So adverbs of place first. So which is smaller, Light Park or 11th Street? It would be Light Park, right? So at Light Park. Oh, I hate it when that does that. So I don't think that's capitalized then. There we go. Capitalize the I though. At Light Park. So let's get rid of that one. Now our bigger on 11th Street. And now that just leaves your two places of your two adverbs of time at 11:30 a.m. on Sunday. 11:30 a.m. is a very short amount of time. Sunday is a longer amount of time. At 11:30 a.m. and on Sunday. Period. Okay. All right, let's do one more together, the same thing. So we're looking for our subject. No, I'm sorry, we're looking first for capital letters. There's only one capital letter starting a phrase, and that would be the yellow school. So the yellow school. And yellow is an adjective, and school is an adjective. Because you could say the yellow bus, or you could say the school bus. So both yellow and school describe the bus, doesn't it? It's a bus that happens to belong to the school. It's a school bus. And usually those school buses are yellow, the yellow school bus. So your subject is bus. Let's get rid of those. Now we're looking for our verb. Where is the action in this sentence? It's an old vocabulary word, distribute, distributed. So we shall put distributed here. Let's get rid of that. What did they distribute? Did they distribute the children, or did they distribute lunches? Probably didn't distribute the children, right? So the direct object are lunches. I kind of made a mistake. I put these too close together, but we'll just, so actually free describes lunches, right? So your adjective modifying or giving detail to the lunches is your adjective free. So I put those too close together, but there you are. Okay, because it describes lunches, right? They're free. So let's get rid of those two. That answered what they distributed. They distributed lunches. The lunches were free. And who received these lunches? That would be the children, right? So children. I would actually put to the children. I just wouldn't put two children. I don't like the way it sounds. So I'm adding the yellow school bus distributed to the children free lunches. And I've got at 12 noon twice. We don't need two of them. So we do adverbs of place before adverbs of time. Which is smaller, the parks or liberal? Obviously, the parks are smaller. Your second one is in liberal. Okay, so now we have just left at 12 noon and every day. Which is the smaller amount of time? That would be at 12 noon, right? And then every day, period. Okay, so it's sort of just like a jigsaw puzzle. You just figure them out. I left 3 more blanks if you guys just want to do some more games with your family. Just try to put adjectives modifying the subject and adjectives modifying the direct object, because those are nouns and your adjectives go before the nouns, right? Okay, so that is it. And if you noticed, I mentioned a couple of times, or maybe 3 times, May Day, because tomorrow is May Day. Tomorrow is May 1st. It is halfway between the spring solstice, which is March 21st, and the summer solstice, which is July 21st. We're 6 weeks in, so it's called May Day. And I just thought I would share with you some pictures of May Day because it's kind of changed. Okay. I don't know if this is, are you seeing the same thing I did? Sorry, I'm going to have to check and make sure. Yes, okay. So here are some things that happen on May Day, not so much anymore, and maybe more so in Europe than it does in the United States or Canada or Mexico. But they would celebrate May 1st by decorating a maypole, and you know, it was full of flowers. And still, we have the tradition of making a little tiny May Day baskets and leaving them on the doorknobs of your neighbors. That was like the one sentence that I used in there. So making May Day baskets used to be really popular when I was a kid. Not so much anymore, but I love the idea of it. You know, here's some a great big May Day basket. So anyway, that's a part of May Day. And then I have shown this commercial to my class in the fall, but I love it so much, and it's perfect because it's another example of May Day. Completely different meaning, but it's a good way to end this. When a ship is in trouble, it says Mayday, Mayday. That means that they're sinking, or they're in trouble, or they need help. They say Mayday, Mayday. So I have this cute little commercial that we're going to end with. It's perfect for this because it's about May Day. So I'm going to share one more thing. Put it in theater mode.
Das hier ist ein Mindsektor. Das hier ist das wichtigste Gerät des Küstenwächters. Das Überlebensradar. Mayday, Mayday. Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you? Over. We are sinking. We are sinking. Hello?
This is the German Coast Guard.
We're thinking.
What are you thinking about?
Okay, so what are you thinking about? So I thought that was a great way, and it says improve your English. So everybody have a great May Day tomorrow, and I will see everyone on Monday, week 7. We only have 2 weeks of school left. So have a good weekend.